Hello and welcome to my garden. I've been spending a lot of time cleaning things up and getting my spring garden planted, so I thought I'd bring you with me this week. Maybe you need some motivation or company to tackle your own garden chores, or maybe this video can simply bring you some relaxation. There's something so soothing about puttering around outside, and I really want this video to capture that. I don't usually make outdoor gardening videos on this channel, but I thought it'd be a fun change of pace for spring since I've been spending so much time out here. My first task of the week is to clean up my berry beds. We have raspberries and tayberries, which are a blackberry-raspberry hybrid that were already planted here by the previous owner, and at first I wasn't a fan of having them here because they are quite aggressive and need a lot of pruning to keep them in check. By the way, I was checking for spiders in my gloves because these were in the basement and they had a bunch of webs in them, so I got really creeped out. But these are my berry gloves and they're actually really good. I don't get poked by the thorns when I'm wearing them, so they're awesome. Anyways, I've embraced having these berries in my garden, and picking them has been one of my highlights that I look forward to every single year now. I'm starting with the raspberry bed because it's less dense, so it was a lot easier to weed. You'll see the tayberry bed later. It is quite chaotic in that one. I like to use twine to kind of stake them up and keep them from sprawling out into my pathway. Took me over an hour to weed this bed, but it wasn't difficult, just tedious, and I was so happy with the outcome. When I set this garden up, I worked around some of the wooden raised beds that were already here. So all the metal beds were added by me, but as you can see, there are still a few of the older beds that I haven't replaced yet. They're actually all my berry beds. So the two I already talked about, tayberry and raspberry, and then the smaller square one has strawberries. In the back bed, or I guess the one that's closest to the camera that I'm watering right now, I have some green onion that survived the winter, as well as some parsley that is from last year too. And things that I planted more recently that you'll see are cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, and peas. And you can see near the middle of the garden, I have a bed that is full of garlic, which is looking absolutely amazing. I eventually finished pulling all of the weeds in my raspberries and decided to give them some fertilizer. This bed looks so much better. I'll put a before and after on the screen so y'all can see like a better comparison. But yeah, it looks amazing. Every time I go outside the past few days, I'm just like, wow, it looks a million times better. So I fertilized them, watered them in, and then I started working on the tayberry bed and quickly abandoned that. So that is a task that is still on my list, probably something that I'm gonna do next week. But it is just so densely filled with grass, which is like the worst to pull in terms of weeds. I don't know why there's so much grass growing in here, but yeah, it's just out of control. So I was kind of just done with weeding for this day, but I'm really glad that I finished up the raspberry bed. So here's a little overview of what this area ended up looking like. Raspberries look amazing, and the rest of the beds in this back kind of section are actually starting to look pretty decent as well. And I've weeded a lot of the wood chips in this area too. There is a bed across from these berries, which you'll see in a second. This one, oh no, there's the tayberry disaster. Oh dear. This bed across from the tayberries I'm going to be setting up tomorrow. I ended up picking up all that debris off of there to get us started for the next day. Okay, it is a new day. I love getting out in the garden first thing, bright and early, like 6 to 7 a.m. I love being out here and just getting some things done. I feel like it is such a stunning start to my day. So this particular morning, I wanted to one of my goals this week was to get all of my current beds just like completely set up and ready for planting, if not to get some things actually planted in them. So I cleared that debris off of that bed that we saw yesterday, and I'm just going to be adding a couple wheelbarrows full of this nice fresh garden soil, and then it's going to be ready for planting, which is really nice. It is a lot of work doing this shoveling though. Like I feel like I'm definitely getting a workout in. I'm gonna go right ahead and plant some broccoli, cauliflower, and marigolds in here. I started these all from seed in, I think, around March. I'm certainly not an expert on seed starting or really anything garden related, if we're being honest. I'm still very much a beginner, but I've somehow had pretty good luck, and last year I found that even if my seedlings weren't looking great, they often were able to bounce back and ended up growing really well for me in the end. I also unexpectedly fell in love with marigolds last year as well. They're a flower that I've never really paid any mind to, but after planting some in my garden for the first time last year, I became obsessed. I'm now growing or gonna attempt to grow a few different varieties this year, and I can't wait to see them in full bloom. The one that I have here is a variety called Strawberry Blonde, and it has just a bit of a more peachy, pinky kind of look to it. They're so gorgeous, so I really hope that these ones do well for me. Here I have some sugar snap peas growing, and as you can see, some of them have already come up. They're looking great, but I want them to be a little bit more densely planted. I think that you can grow peas like you can grow quite a lot of them in one area. So I'm just throwing a few more in here because why not? There's still time to get them in the ground. So yeah, I'm just planting some more peas here. I also ended up planting peas in the very back bed as well. This is a climbing type that is going to get quite tall, but I planted a more compact variety in the back bed, so it'll be kind of interesting. This is my first time growing peas. I didn't grow them last year, so I'm really curious to find out how it's going to go. But I mean, so far these ones have come up, and yeah, I guess I'll find out. After putting the peas in, I quickly hopped over to our front yard where I've been putting together or attempting to put together a little flower garden. So I have a bunch of foxglove in the back, and now I'm adding some marigolds to the front to have some shorter plants. And I also have added a couple of other flower varieties that are going to be more of just like crawling, kind of sprawling. I don't know. I'm trying to add some, variety when it comes to height. I don't have much experience growing flowers, so this is just very experimental, but I've been having a lot of fun with this. Before I did this spring, this little corner area was just full of weeds and shrubs that I wasn't interested in keeping there, so I think I'm gonna have a lot more fun since I've turned this into a little flower area. It's another day, and we have another bed to top up and then plant into. Also, if you're wondering why I'm planting so sparsely in these beds, it's because I like to spread out my crops. For example, I don't want to do one bed with just cabbage or just broccoli, so I'm planting a few of them in each bed, and then as we get further into the growing season, I'll continue to add a variety of different things to each bed. I think that this is better for the plants in terms of pests and diseases. I also just kind of like the way it looks to have multiple different things planted in a single bed. Obviously, I do have my garlic bed that's like completely full of garlic and my berries and everything, but in general, I try to spread things out a little bit. I'm also going to be direct sowing a lot of things, so I need to leave space for that. And lastly, in general, I'm just trying to space things out more this year. Last year, the garden did amazing, but it did feel a little cramped, so I wanted to try to give the plants more space to breathe this year, and also hopefully give myself more walking space between the beds, because some things just came out of the beds like crazy, particularly my squash. So I'm gonna have to be quite strategic of where I put the squash this year, because last year I ended up planting them right by the entrance to the garden and it was quite chaotic. But that's the fun thing about gardening. I feel like there is always so much to learn, and we gain so much from our own experience. Like, I've only had 1 year with this backyard garden, and that has already informed how I'm going forward this year so much. So, yeah, it's just fun to constantly it's all just kind of trial and error. So, yeah, I've been having a lot of fun just learning so many new skills with gardening. We actually just had a friend drop off some of these cosmos and nasturtium seedlings. There's multiple in each of these little pots, so I'm going to be going ahead and planting those into the beds today as well. I'm really excited about this because I have actually nasturtium and cosmos seeds, but I haven't started any of them. So it's really nice to have these like little plantlets that are just ready to go, because it would be quite a while for me to, wait for mine to come up from seed. I did direct sow my nasturtium last year, and yeah, I didn't really get flowers until pretty late in the season, so I'm really happy to have these ones. And cosmos are completely new to me. I've never grown them before. I'm already very intrigued by their like fluffy weird little foliage here, so yeah, I'm very excited. Could be another flower that I completely fall in love with this year. I have no idea what color of flowers I'm gonna get from these, but fingers crossed that they do well in my garden. Good morning again. I have quite the task ahead of me today that I at least get a good start on. Okay, I may not finish it, but I at least get a good start. And that is building a new garden bed to go in this space here where these kind of neglected herb planters, the wooden planters, are hanging out. So I need to rake wood chips. I need to pull out those wooden beds. They're rotting anyways, so I'm just going to be replacing this whole area with a metal bed. And I'm actually really excited to build this bed because it's a different color than the ones that I already have, and it is stunning. I love it, so I can't wait to show you. But yeah, I need to get this area all cleared out and prepped, or at least get that started. And then I need to put together my new bed, which is very exciting because I've had this bed for a good couple of months now, but it just hasn't been high enough on the priority list. But I think I've gotten enough of a handle on the rest of the garden that I can go ahead and start getting the new bed ready. I am absolutely in love with the dark green color of this bed, and I'm so happy that I got it all built, but the task of filling it is going to be pushed to next week because it's already dinner time, and that's it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed. I had so much fun working on this one, and it's nice to be able to share a regular urban backyard garden. I have trouble finding channels that show this type of just realistic veggie garden, so hopefully someone will be able to relate or maybe gain some inspiration from me sharing. I know my garden isn't perfect, but I honestly enjoy that it's a work in progress and there's always something for me to busy myself doing. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and perhaps I will consider doing another episode. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
I couldn't even if I tried.